السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يا اخوانا الإدارة الكريمة الفاضلة اللي عايزة تبيع بيت ربنا ده عشان المطور العقاري يهد ويعمل عمارة سكنية. يا اخوانا الله يبارك لكم، المبنى ده الناس قعدت 20 سنة تحافظ عليه وتكبر فيه وتنظف فيه. 20 سنة، كل سنة 200,000 دولار بيتصرفوا على المكان ده من الجالية الكريمة اللي هنا، اللي ربنا يبارك لهم كلهم في أموالهم وفي مجهودهم وفي أولادهم. حرام يا اخوانا، الجامع ده حرام، ده أمانة في إيدينا كلنا، المفروض نحافظ عليه. يا اخوانا حرام علينا، دي أمانة ربنا موصينا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. سنحاول في هذا الفيديو أيها الإخوة والأخوات أن نوضح حقيقة محاولة بيع مسجد هاكنساك. سوف تسمعون ما أعلنته إدارة المسجد، وأيضا سوف تسمعون الحقيقة الكاملة من المسؤولين في مدينة هاكنساك.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I would like to address some of the things that were actually said on social media and in many other outlets regarding the Bergen County Islamic Education Center's relocation project. We were approached by the city in around mid-March to let us know that they are about to build a 268 residential complex.
One member of the board said that the city approached us in regard to the city project to build a housing complex in the parking lot. That is true that the city wants to do so as a part of developing the city. But why did you use the word approached? The city of Hackensack officially informed you about the project because it has to do that by the law. The city must inform the surrounding existing premises of the project. The city did not ask you to consider moving or ask to acquire the current building. The city did not ask you to sell the place. The city just informed you that you are no longer will have the 30 rented parking spot. Using the word approached us was the wrong one. The board members did everything they could to convince the community that they have to leave the area and to sell the building.
In the parking lot that we are currently using on Fridays and on Taraweeh and many other events like Eid or whatever it is, and that during the 2 years of construction there will not be any parking guaranteed for anyone, obviously due to obvious reasons because of construction and equipment and construction workers, etc. So
the board member trying to convince us that the parking spots are a major issue. The parking is never an issue. Hundreds of existing masjids in New Jersey and New York don't have parking spots. Selling our 20 years old masjid because of the parking issue is absolutely wrong. Not only that, but the city officials also promised us in our community meeting that the project will include some available parking spot in addition to a 3 levels parking garage. We might feel some congesting traffic flow during the construction, but that is applied to the whole neighborhood and is a temporary situation.
The city is still going to have not only the same number of parking spots we've had before, we're actually going to have a few more than we had before. Some of it is going to be surface parking like you're used to seeing. So for example, from where the mosque is going west, going towards Union, right, that's going to remain surface lot. That's going to just be a surface lot. It's going to be paved, there's going to be striped, there's going to be parking spots. In addition, the developer is building a garage, multiple garage for himself, but also for the city. And that leg of the garage, okay, so if you're thinking you're looking west, right, Union. So if I went north, right, that leg there will be a garage there. I think it's 2 or 3, don't hold me to it, I can't remember everything, I tried. 2 or 3 floors, let's say, of parking, of which the city will have the same number of spots, plus a few more than it ever had before. And in addition, we're currently still in discussion. You have to understand, this is early. We're still talking with the developer. But we're even trying to say on the top floor of that garage, we're looking at making it a green space and an amenity space for the public. That, you know, hey, if you want to go sit and enjoy a nice day, that on top of that garage, we're trying to get some green space added there too, where there really isn't and hasn't been there for a very long time.
We consulted with many people in the community, and we held a couple of different General Assembly meetings which were not heavily attended.
Consulted with many members of the community? We are the members of the community. We never heard about that until you planned and decided everything. You did not show the details of the project to the community, and you did not care about what the community might think about your plan to sell our masjid to the developer. Also, you claimed that you held a couple of assembly meetings which were not heavily attended. Is that enough reason to decide? Is that enough reason to ignore hundreds of community members who donated millions of dollars to acquire and maintain our masjid? It was very obvious that you did not do enough to inform the community with the whole truth. You can't run our masjid with this mentality, and with no transparent whatsoever. Just as reminder, the only community meeting was held on October 3, 2021, when we requested. The whole community rejected your idea to sell the masjid. You promised not to sell and signed a written resolution informing the community that you are not going to sell.
And we decided that if we stay, this would be an existential threat to our very existence as a masjid, or as a viable masjid anyway, with full services, or at least partial services as we are today.
Existential threat? Existential threat? That threat has existed only in your imagination, and you intentionally used that expression to spread the fear among the community members. There is no threat whatsoever to the masjid now, or during the future construction for the housing project. Do you know why? Because the law requires that the developer provide all possible safety measures before, during and after the construction. You didn't have the courage to inform the community with this information to assure that there is no threat to the building. Do you want to hear another surprise from the city mayor to prove that? Let's listen.
Bergen County Islamic Education Center. You've been in the mosque too many before. Council.
I've been there too.
Yeah, we remember you. As I said, I am a former president of the Bergen County Islamic Education Center. My family goes there all the time. My kids go there all the time. We want the benefit for Hackensack City because we love Hackensack City. Having affordable houses in Hackensack, that will benefit every one of us. And we as American citizens, we pay our tax to have benefit for Hackensack City because we love Hackensack City. During the developer, what I understood now, the developer will build his building next to our mosque, which is a great news. We love that. We have no problem. But during this time, what kind of security for my family, for my kids, when they go to the mosque, during his work, is he gonna give us a secure access to our mosque? Is he gonna give us a secure, during his construction, nothing is gonna happen to our building? This is actually, we need to have an answer from the developer during his work. You guys will take our parking spot, which we rented for the past 20 years. We are a godfather of renting this parking spot. You guys will take it away because we just rent it, we don't own it. Does this guy, he's gonna provide us with a parking during his work? Because we need that.
There'll still be surface parking lot
So we'll be
on the
parking.
backside,
Okay,
west of you, and there'll be spots in the garage on the lower end.
great. So I'm worried about my kids when they go there. I'm worried about my wife when she go and pray there. I'm worried about every one of those family members when they go to the mosque and pray during his construction. Thank you.
Okay, I'll speak to that. What most builders have to do is put up what they call a performance bond, which will cover them in case there's any type of, God forbid, there was any type of accident or anything, but he would have to cover any damage to your buildings, possessions or anything of that nature. You will have to make sure that you have clear access in and out. I know that there's an entrance in the front. By fire code, you have to have 2 exits. One out the front, you're gonna need one out the side, or you already have one out the side to one side. He'll need to make arrangements that you can still exit your building properly and safely. So he just can't come in and make a mess of your building and make sure that you're not safe. That's not gonna happen. The fire department's not gonna let that happen.
Thank you.
I'm a safety officer with the hospital. We have major construction going down there now. And one of the things we do is make sure all the safety features, and everybody that works in the main hospital while the rest of the hospital is being built is kept safe, exits, ways to get out, that fumes from the construction or dust isn't affecting your services or any festivities you might have at your mosque. That's not going to happen. So we, the Board of Health and the City of Hackensack Fire Department and Police Department would oversee that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Albert, did you have anything for us?
Where is the mosque with the?
Where?
I want to see the mosque.
In the television?
So,
We're sending it to Frank.
We're sending it to Frank, so hold on.
No,
Oh,
Frank?
not okay then.
And Frank can put it up on the monitor.
so Mayor, I'm not exactly sure what image you're looking for. I guess you're looking for the rendering that's in the amended redevelopment plan. Or are you just, are you?
Well, the most recent
orientation?
shows the
The one that
project,
shows the rendering without the mosque.
shows the project with the
With the
mosque in
mosque.
place.
Well, clearly you can see the city-owned property, which is delineated in yellow, and the mosque is not included within the redevelopment area that's being designated. So I think that's the first exhibit that's what's shown. Unfortunately, the amended plan that's being passed on is not on the website yet because it's not passed. So we're just having a technical issue getting that document.
I thought you
passed
had
and
a,
hashed
something we
in
could have put
on-
up there.
on Frank's computer.
We have it here. We have it here. We have it here.
Yes,
We
okay,
have
so,
it here.
so I was just trying to get that up on the big screen, it's, so.
So what this does is shows the project is, well, it's moving forward with the mosque in place. And that's what the other pictures are
I
going
can
to
email it
show.
to you to.
Well, my suspicion is that the public that's here tonight gets the image that you're asking them to see. It's just that it's,
All right.
That's what the board told us.
Here, it shows the building and then it shows the mosque and all the trees and the whole nine yards, it shows the whole picture of the thing,
So the key for you,
more than that.
the key for you folks is to come to the planning board meeting so you can see what the developer is presenting to the planning board, and you'll get to hear everything about the project. So pay attention for when that's coming up.
if there's any other questions that I can answer about the project, I'm more than happy to try to go on.
Just one thing regarding the monitoring of the condition of the building before, during, and after. Is that part of the plan, just like any other adjacent building to this? Whether it's a pile driving operation or any of that, are we gonna make sure that the building is staying intact?
So just based on experience with other redevelopment projects that we've done, before the developer gets the final permits and the final clearance from the building department to move forward, he will need to provide the building department with a certificate and a survey of your property, of the mosque property.
Right.
There'll be an inspection done, a visual inspection, a walk around to inventory the existing conditions, and there will have to be active site monitoring by their engineer during the entire process to ensure that no damage happens to your property. And if it does start to happen, that the project is stopped and addressed, immediately. So, as the mayor alluded, there will be obviously some growing pains, and it's a big project and a tight spot. So
We do
we have
understand
to
that.
expect some inconvenience, but there it is. So,
Perfect,
but
perfect.
you'll
Look
see-
nice.
Yeah.
Look
And
nice.
we're maintaining the parking to the west of the property as well. So my hope is that that will be able to remain open throughout most of the construction, where you would probably pick up the vast majority of the spaces that you need. I think we've heard
The
some,
mosque is not in the way of the project, so it's no problem.
it never was in the way of the
Yeah.
project.
Thank you. Thank you so
The
much.
city of Hackensack never asked the board to leave the mosque.
Yeah.
They never forced the board to leave the mosque. This is what we have told from the board, that the city of Hackensack, the mayor of Hackensack, the city manager of Hackensack,
I've never met with the board.
I'm telling you what they told us. They told us the mayor of Hackensack forced us to sell. The city manager of Hackensack forced us to sell. Is that happened, Mr. Mayor?
I never met with the board.
Thank you.
So our new project now, which we have no problem with, will be include our mosque. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's the rendering that the developer gives to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you hear that? Brother Hamada asked Mr. Albert Dib, the city development manager, if our masjid is on the way of the project. Mr. Albert, as you heard, said the masjid never was. Also Mr. John Labros, the mayor, showed us the plan provided by the developer, and it is including our masjid as you see. You also heard all the top city officials denying asking the masjid's board to sell, or even putting any pressure on them. It was very obvious to the community that the city wants us to stay, and they guaranteed the safety of the masjid and the community members as well during the construction. In addition, they promised to help us with the parking issue.
And during the project, you guys, the developer, will have safety for our family to go in and out of the mosque.
It's in the developer's best interest to not damage a mosque, believe me.
Thank you.
And if I may, you folks have very good questions.
Thank you.
Attendance at the planning board, now you can ask the developer, their engineer, their architect, you can ask them
When is the
questions
planning board
to
meeting?
those folks at
When?
that meeting. Well, you will be noticed, because they're close enough to the,
Yeah, you have to be
your
noticed.
mosque will receive a notice in the mail
They don't
telling
give us
you.
Okay, it goes to the board of trustees, that's why.
Let us know.
We will be there.
We'll block that stuff from us, so we don't know.
Kenny, can you make a note to make sure Bridget sends notice? On your way out, you're gonna give some names and information.
We can give you names to send to.
I invite you to listen to the city officials showing support to our masjid and being transparent. Also, I invite you to learn how to be positive and dedicated Muslim community members. We are discussing the matter with the top city officials, and our goal is to keep our masjid and doing what is better for our community. We also showed our support to the housing project as well. We live in a great country where we the people have rights, and we are using these rights. You will never understand that with your dictatorship mentality. You've been elected to serve the community, not to serve your own interests. The city mayor and the city manager confirmed that they never asked the board to sell the masjid or move. The masjid board are the only party who wants to sell our masjid. The deputy mayor announced that the plan will go ahead with the masjid bin in place as is.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next person, please. I see you have to come up. Go ahead. Just form a line if you want to speak.
Good evening. My name is Hassan Mahmoud. Been around the mosque for 20 years. Just have a few concerns, one of which you already addressed. But the word that got us into this conflict is basically that the city is almost demanding that the building to be sold.
No. Never.
You clarified it, and I have to believe you, and I agree with you, there is nothing really from the city to force the mosque to be sold. I could care less what's gonna be happening in this parking lot, whether it's development or anything for the benefit of the city. It's all for good. We don't have any issue with that. We're not restricting or demanding or protesting the project itself. That is not our concern at all. I see the development plan that includes the mosque in it. That's what I would like to see. I would like to make sure that the building would be safe before, during, and after.
Yep.
What I would like from the city to know that there is no ease of any restriction on the development. You see a large building going up all over Hackensack with a small building next to it. I want my building to be as safe and secure during the process, same as all of those buildings. Also, during the construction, the word is streets will be blocked. You're not gonna be able to get in and out, all of this stuff. I know, I'm an engineer by trade, and I know that cannot happen. This is just not the Wild Wild West, that you could just go do whatever. So my main concern is, we'll work with you during the construction. You work with us to perform our services, and thereafter, everybody's happy. we know that we don't own the parking lot. Our main issue is to find an alternative to the parking lot, and with your help, we definitely can do that. And thank you for your time, and hopefully the project will go along, and our service on our mosque will stay where it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can tell you this, as with any project, especially one that involves a building, going near another building or around the building, there's gonna be growing pains, especially during the construction.
We do understand that.
We've had that all through the city, on every project we've done. We've had to close public streets in certain cases. But it's all worth it in the end. You know, no pain, no gain.
Good.
But, again, before, and I recommend you guys, it's coming before the planning board again. This has to come in front of the planning board, this project. This doesn't end, this is just an approval for us to send it back. The planning board will be looking at this. I recommend going there, and then you can listen to the planning board, the whole presentation of this project. You'll get to see exactly what it's gonna look like, what their plans are, and that's you know what you need to do. Send a contingency from your congregation to the planning board so you can see what's going on. All right, and that's the transparency part. It's all done in public. You can see it. You can, it gets open to the public, you can make comment on it, and even recommendations if you'd like, and that's important for you to see it. So, and nothing moves forward without you being heard, all right? So that's an important part for you to know, all right? It doesn't stop here, just because this part got designated. It has to move forward throughout the city.
Did you hear that? The mayor said that nothing is moving forward without you being heard. We are the people. We are the community.
Clear here. This is a public meeting and all members of the public are welcome to speak and everybody is heard. And that's all I'll say. Next, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. My name is Adel Aimer. I'm previous resident of Hackensack. Now I live in Nutley. I'm one also of the founder of the mosque. And to respond to my brother, yeah, we elected him to govern the mosque for 2 years or 4 years, and we went to court to remove him from the board, and we went to court to stop the sale, and we have a judgment from the judge at the court to stop the sale for them. I appreciate your clarifying the existing of the mosque next to the project. This is very clear. I only have one question. The city offered us to rent 30 spots, balcony spots, for almost 20 years now.
Right.
Can we ask the city to continue this, to guarantee us the 30 spots, even if you can remove the spots, different areas?
There will be a tough time during construction when that's not going to be possible, but afterwards.
After construction,
Yeah.
not
So we're
during
gonna have some growing
construction.
pains, truck finding places for you folks to park, and we'll work something out.
Yeah, please, because we can also buy a spot. If you
Until those
offer
spots
to buy,
are
you
gone.
can buy.
Well, they're usually leased out.
We can lease it, we can buy it. We need the help of the city for
Right.
guaranteeing
That's-
at least 30 spots.
That's up for this gentleman in the parking utility to
And
decide.
you know that the Muslim community is part of Hackensack community.
Nobody
And we are in
doubts
need
that.
of this spot.
No, we know that, we know that.
So we appreciate it if you can arrange after the construction, assigning 30 spots.
No,
Maybe a different spot.
There will be spots assigned to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, please. It's on.
Okay, sorry. So my name's Abdul. I'm actually the attorney representing the community in stopping the sale of the mosque. And we filed an emergent application and we got a preliminary injunction to stop the sale of the mosque. I know today's here, the ordinances were specific to the affordable housing units, but obviously my clients had certain concerns regarding the project. And I do appreciate you, the mayor, you addressing those issues, the parking issue, the construction and all that. So that was their primary concern. Fortunately, the judge issued a preliminary injunction stopping the sale. It seems like the redeveloper is moving forward without trying to buy the mosque. And my clients were misinformed by the present board of the mosque, stating that it's the city that's pushing for the sale. So I do appreciate you, Deputy Mayor, addressing that as well. Thank you for your time, and we really appreciate you working with the community here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and we appreciate you here in Hackensack too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Tonight, in one of our early ordinances. The development that's planned currently, the development that's moving forward currently, right now, does not include the mosque. It does not. Okay, so what was on here tonight does not include the mosque. Everything that the developer has done, the sale, whatever happened, the developer said the mosque does not want to sell, we will build without the mosque. So everything that is moving forward today, tonight on this agenda, all discussions that are happening now with the city, does not include the mosque. So I want to be crystal clear that you understand what I'm telling you. Now, in the future, at this point, because the plans are really made and the plans are moving forward, I don't even know if anyone would be interested in buying it at this point, because they're already starting to move forward without it. They've already got, we have preliminary plans we're looking at, we have a redevelopment plan tonight that's on for it, and if it were to include the mosque, the number of units that would be built there would be more. When I talk about this at the end of the meeting, like I usually do, there's only 268 units that are going to be built there. That does not include the mosque, and 60 of them are affordable housing, and that's critical for this city, that we have a need for affordable housing. This developer is going to help us satisfy that need, and that's why it's very, very important to the city. The city is still going to have not only the same number of parking spots we've had before, we're actually going to have a few more than we had before. Some of it is going to be surface parking, like you're used to seeing. So for example, from where the mosque is going west, going towards Union, right? That's going to remain surface lot. That's going to just be a surface lot. It's going to be paved. There's going to be striped. There's going to be parking spots. In addition, the developer is building a garage, multiple garage for himself, but also for the city. And that leg of the garage, okay, so if you're thinking you're looking west, right, Union. So if I went north, right, that leg there will be a garage there. I think it's 2 or 3, don't hold me to it, I can't remember everything, I tried. 2 or 3 floors, let's say, of parking, of which the city will have the same number of spots, plus a few more than it ever had before. And in addition, we're currently still in discussion. You have to understand, this is early. We're still talking with the developer. But we're even trying to say on the top floor of that garage, we're looking at making it a green space and an amenity space for the public. That, you know, hey, if you want to go sit and enjoy a nice day, that on top of that garage, we're trying to get some green space added there too, where there really isn't and hasn't been there for a very long time. So I think we have a very good relationship with this developer. I think he wants to work with the city and with the mosque. He has no issues at all. We had Plan A, Plan B. The only reason Plan B was including the mosque is because he reached out, and whoever he spoke to, which obviously was not people that are here tonight, was willing to talk about selling the mosque. But when that decision changed, the plans went back without it, and that's what we're approving and talking about tonight. So I hope that satisfies. I see people's hands, and we'll let you come speak and handle them, but I just wanted to make it crystal clear so that everybody understands. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Your hands up, you have a question, just please come up, give your name to the clerk.
As you heard, the city deputy mayor confirmed that the plan does not include the masjid. That means the project will move forward with our masjid stays in place. Now it is very obvious who wants to sell our 20 years masjid. Unfortunately, the masjid board is the one who wants to sell. The city officials listened to the Muslim community and willing to cooperate to solve the parking issue and the safety issue during and after the construction. I would like to introduce 2 brothers from the masjid board who attended the city meeting. We weren't surprised to listen and watch their poor presentation. It was very obvious that they couldn't convince anyone in the meeting. They said to the mayor that he shouldn't listen to us, and he should listen to the board members only. They said that we are not even members of the community anymore. They couldn't understand that this is a public meeting, and we have every right to express our concern regarding our masjid. They still have this Middle Eastern mentality. Let's listen.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Your Honor. My name is Hassan Gabbar. I'm here with 2 of my colleagues, Asim Abdel-Majid and Ala Dawish. 3 of us, we are representing Bergen County Islamic Center. We are not being hired by the Bergen County Islamic Center. We're being elected. We have bylaws that govern the Passaic County Islamic Centers. So if anything has to go through, it has to go through that board of trustees. We are here to, first thing, thank you very much for the city of Hackensack for all the good things that has been given us. During Fridays, during Ramadan, all the other stuff. We will not be an obstacle for the city of Hackensack for this new project. We do have an obstacle right now. We try to sell the masjid for the developer. We have an obstacle. We bought a new building, 7278 Main Street, to move the mosque over there. But we did have an obstacle against us in the court, and we are trying to solve that. So hopefully, if we solve that problem, we will be moving our mosque to that location. If not, then we'll stay over here. But in any way, please, no one is representing that PCIC, Brigham County Islamic Center, except for the board of trustees that's been elected by the board of trustees.
False.
Community is.
No, false.
Community. We own this building. The community represents it.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's a
They
lot.
are not even members of
this
the
is not
board.
correct.
No.
So when somebody comes here and talk, you have to talk and you have to be honest, not to talk on the behalf of the Brigham County Islamic Center. We've been elected.
The board he said to us, the board he said to us, the city of Hackensack, he pushed us to move from here.
Your Honor,
I understand exactly what's going on.
Thank you very much. We will not be an obstacle. We need your help. Hopefully the city of Hackensack will keep giving us help during the Ramadan, during the Friday prayers. And I said, like I said before, if things go through with the new development and we can still move, with your help, we'll move. If not, still we need your help. But the only thing has to go through Brigham County Islamic Center. Don't listen to anybody.
Don't listen?
What? If you want to talk about yourself.
Don't listen?
Talk about Brigham County Islamic Center. You are not here to represent us. When anybody been elected, he can talk about the Brigham County Islamic Center. Thank you very much, Your Honor. Thank you.
People here that represent themselves, not the community. All right? That's another point we have to take into consideration. Because the majority of the people that attend the brain in the center, they agree about moving.
Lie. Approve it. Approve it.
Everybody gets their 3 minutes, please.
And that's why some of them have been blocked from entering the center because this attitude. When they come to the center and they make all kind of disturbance to the service. Alright? So I just want to clear. We try to cooperate with the city. We wanted the city to develop. This building is too old, it needs to be redeveloped too. We're willing to relocate to a new building, and we need the help to the city to achieve that. Thank you, sir.
Now, did you know who is the enemy of the community?
سوف نبقى هنا